What's good everyone, it's your boy Yidzig, 4eyes, 2Gs here, and today we're here to talk about ASAP Ferg. Now, as most of you guys would know, ASAP Ferg just dropped a brand new project, the follow-up to his original project with the same name, Floor Seats 2. However, we've gotten the first week sales back for this project, and they aren't looking too good, and they're actually the worst sales of his career. However, in saying that, although the first week sales weren't good, there was also a really promising sign in regards to one of his brand new songs that seems to be performing really well, which is a really good sign. So first of all, I want to break down kind of like the bad news with the album sales, but then I also want to touch on kind of like the good news in regards to his brand new song that's performing really well off the project. So let's go.
Magic City mama, pop a couple tabs, make her back at Benny honest. Run a couple laps, your kitty sweating like a sauna. Table tennis back and forth, feeling for the drama. I ain't in a good karma. Magic City mama, pop a couple tabs, make her back at Benny honest. Run a couple laps, your kitty sweating like a sauna. Table tennis back and forth, feeling for the drama. I ain't in a good karma.
Okay, first of all, as always, let's just break it down with some context and kind of give some background to his album sales. Now, as you guys can see right here, let's bring it back to all the way to his 2013 project, the classic project, my personal favorite Ferg project to date, Trap Lord, which as you can see on screen right here, sold 31,000 in its first week. Then moving on after that with his next commercial project, we get to Always Strive and Prosper, which as you can see right here, sold 35,000 in its first week. Moving along, we get to Still Striving, which as you can see right here, sold 24,000 in its first week. Then moving on to the original Floor Seats, and that sold 12,000 in its first week. Now, if you've kind of been tracking that right there, you can see it's pretty much decreased project to project significantly in the last couple of years. And unfortunately with this new project, it's no different because this project only sold 7.5k in its first week. Unfortunately, these numbers are just not good at all. And if you look at the albums that are outselling it, Belonda outsold it in God knows what week it's in, Polo G was outselling it, Thriller's outselling it, Nothing Was the Same is outselling it, Birds in the Trap is outselling it. All these older albums are just outselling this project in its first week, which honestly is never a good sign. So yeah, 7.5k in its first week is just not good at all. And if you kind of look at the album sales in totality, as you can see right here, as I said, there's been a significant drop off all the way from selling 30k with his original projects a few years ago now to the point now to where he's selling under 10k in his first week. Now, to anyone who's kind of been following my channel and my videos on ASAP Ferg up until this point, these numbers really aren't that surprising because as I've said, Ferg has been kind of quiet for a minute now, and especially when you look at the rollout for this album, it was kind of destined to do poor first week sales. As you can see right here, they tried a total of 3 lead singles and basically none of them made any noise at all. Value and No Ceilings didn't even make it onto the Billboard charts at all. Plus on top of that, Move Your Hips, as I've explained in other videos, this was a complete flop, especially for a Nicki Minaj backed single. Although this did chart at number 19 on the Billboard Hot 100, as you can see right here, it only lasted 2 weeks on the chart. So yeah, overall, between the singles and then the album sales, it was just not good at all. Plus, on top of that, when you look at the Billboard Top 200 album sales for the week, it's a very similar story. As you can see right here, Floor Seats 2 only debuted at 143 on the chart, which is woeful. And then when you look at the projects before that, Floor Seats debuted at number 50, Trap Lord at number 8, ASAP at number 8, and then Still Striving at number 12. So yeah, you can kind of chronologically see Ferg kind of, especially in the last couple years, just kind of losing that relevance. Now, that's kind of like the bad news out of the way. The next thing I want to touch on is the really good news, and that is this song right here, Dennis Rodman featuring Tyga. And first off, just personally for me, this is easily one of Ferg's best singles for a minute, and I think outdoes every other single he tried for this project. Tyga's flow on the chorus is super nice and it's super catchy, so I'm not surprised it's doing well. And you guys know how prolific Tyga has been in the mainstream, so to see this song doing so well isn't really that much of a surprise considering the Tyga cosign and the fact that the song's really good. But anyways, I digress. I want to kind of discuss the performance of this song so far. And before we do that, guys, as always, I want to give a couple quick shout outs from the Instagram. Big shout out to Amir Barani 55 and also shout out to my G 16 and 29. Much appreciated, you two. If you guys don't follow your boy, man, at your dick, actually go follow your boy on Instagram right now, man. Always much appreciated and always much love to my IG fan. But anyways, as I said, let's dive in. Now, as you guys can see right here, I've got a chart up for the total Spotify streams for the newest songs of the project. Now, it is important to say this doesn't include the singles that were released before, because obviously because they were released before, the streams are really high for those songs already because they've been out for longer. But I just wanted to kind of document how much better this song is performing compared to every other song that was released on the same day. Every other song hasn't reached 1 million plays on Spotify in total. That is super important to mention, whereas Dennis Rodman, as you can see, is clearly outperforming every other song at least by 3-fold, currently sitting at around 3.4 million streams, which is a really good sign. So I think just off rip you can kind kind of see right here, it's clearly been the most successful song out of the newer songs that have been released. But also importantly, and this is super important to mention, I would just want to kind of document the amount of views that every single video for this project has had so far. As you can see, Value, which was released in April, which is what, roughly 6 months or so ago now, only has 1.4 million views on the video. Then on top of that, Movie Hips, which was released in August 2 months ago now, has 2.1 million views. Then we also move on to No Ceilings, which was released also in August and doesn't even have 1 million views. But then move on to Dennis Rodman, and this hasn't even been out for a month, but it already has nearly 4 million views. By the time you're watching this video, it probably does have 4 million views. So just considering that right there, just going through it, it already has basically double more than any other music video. And keep in mind, these music videos have been out for months at least. In the case of Value, it's been out for nearly 6 months or so now. So yeah, that's a really good sign. To already outperform those music videos just means the song is getting a lot of attention. And plus on top of that, if you have a look over at Spotify, as you guys can see on screen right here, I've got the playlist up for the song, and it's pretty clear that the label has recognized this and they're giving the song a bit of a push. It's in pretty big playlists like Get Turned, Power Gaming, Hip Hop Central, etc. But it's not really in those bigger playlists yet, like the Rap Caviars or something like that. So hopefully what we kind of see happen over the next week or couple weeks or months is that as the song kind of naturally begins to grow, the investment and the push from the label kind of grows with it, because they recognize that this song could potentially be a hit, and we kind of see it be put in those bigger playlists. Because as I've said in my last couple videos about this topic, when album sales aren't good, when album sales flop, there is one thing that is basically always guaranteed to save that over time, and that is a hit. Album sales don't really matter that much first week if the album ends up having a hit, because if the album ends up having a hit, that hit is inevitably going to lead to other songs from the project getting more popular, getting more streams, and kind of like the trickle down effect. So in this case with Ferg, right now the album sales are definitely not good. They're definitely flop. As I said, the worst sales of his career. That's undoubtable. That's just being fair. But in saying that, if we kind of see Dennis Rodman become the hit that I think it kind of shows potential to be just based off these streams so far, we could see this project kind of get an okay level of success over time and eventually to kind of pick up those streams as a result of the hit. So yeah, that's something super interesting to note. But yeah, as I said, it's kind of good news and a bad news situation for Ferg right now. I'm wishing the best for him, and I'm hoping Dennis Rodman turns into a hit. If you've given the project a listen, make sure to let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below as well. Personally, I gave it a listen, and you know, as I said, Trap Lord is still my favorite ASAP Ferg project. I don't think this project is top 2 Ferg or top 3 Ferg. It has a couple decent songs. As I said, I like Dennis Rodman, but for the most part, as I've explained in my other videos, Ferg's recent music really hasn't been hitting for me like that. But yeah, make sure to let us know what you guys think about it in the comments. And as always, if you haven't, like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff, and there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't.